I've always wanted to be a reporter, and for the first time in my life, I'm starting to feel like one. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing good in the reporting scene, but we have been live from the SHOT Show all day yesterday, now today, talking to industry veterans and people behind these brands that we've all used and been part of, and now a longtime industry veteran, Bruce Pettet of Leupold. Man, thank you for coming by and chatting with us, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey.
I'm a big Michael Waddell fan, too. So
thank you,
it goes
man.
both ways.
I'm a fan of all you guys do, man, and I've had a chance to sit with you a couple times at tables, and we were just talking about all the shows we've been to. God, I mean, it's how many years now,
They
man?
keep coming. Well, I've been the CEO at Leupold for 11 years.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah, so it's
that
it's
seems like
great.
yesterday, though.
Yeah,
that seems like yesterday. That was headlines, you know.
I'll tell you what, man. It's gone fast, to be honest, because it's obviously a great company. I got great people. I got 750 employees in Beaverton, Oregon, making rifle scopes 7 days a week. You know, and just they care about it. Family-owned company, and it's been really good. So it's gone fast. We've had a lot of fun, and it's a great brand to be a part of.
Oh, no doubt, and I'm sure that had to be such a cool opportunity, because there's no way you've been a hunter that you wasn't a huge fan of Leupold before you ever become the CEO.
It was one of the big pieces. There were two things that really attracted me to Leupold, and that was, number one, that I've always been a hunter. I had plenty of gold ring scopes in my safe.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was the first thing. The second thing was it's family owned. You know, it's a 117-year-old family owned business. So just that mindset, right? Building generational value and wanting to continue to, grow the company for the long run was a huge, and what I do is running companies and being a CEO, when you get the opportunity to do that and see a strategy go into place and make it happen long term, it's just hard to beat.
Oh, no doubt. Y'all have done an unbelievable job, man. And you're right. I think that's it. It's the tradition. Everybody knows that gold ring. I mean, it's like, and two, being able to keep up. I've always said, one of the toughest things it feels like for me in having a company and a brand like that is the fact that if it ain't broke, how do you fix it? But at the same time, you have technology, you have new things, but you guys have done a good job of staying right there with, it was never broke, so we're not fixing it, but we certainly are making these improvements every time to this product. So that's hard to do, harder than not. Like, we got something that's good.
Yeah.
How do you make something, you got a chance of making it worse, right?
It's a huge challenge, and in fact, you bring that up as a perfect timing, because we just launched at this show our VX6, new VX6 Gen 2, next generation of the VX6, which is the premier hunting rifle scope. I mean, it is it's the standard.
Right.
And we had to do it better, right? And it's to be able to do that and offer additional features and all the things that we've done with it. Honestly, we made it better.
Right.
We did it. It took us 3 years to develop the thing, but we got it better, and it's absolutely phenomenal, and we're launching that right now. I think that's the key, is constantly innovating, constantly going to the consumer with something new, something that can make their hunt better.
See, that's big, too. Another thing you said that I think a lot of companies get ahead of themselves, 3 years of making sure that this is going to be an improvement and good. And I see a lot of times some of these companies they'll just throw something out every year for the benefit of throwing something out, and it doesn't make it might be new, doesn't mean it's any good.
No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a Leupold.
That's right.
And it's
got that gold ring.
We guarantee it for life, man. It's like,
that's right.
It doesn't matter. So we have to really, I've got 85 engineers, and they work on product every single day, from optical engineers that really work on light management, work on, managing glare, all of that kind of thing, and resolution, of course, all the way through to, maintenance engineers working on our equipment and making sure that, all of the equipment we have works and runs right and keeps those really tight tolerances that we require in our rifle scopes. Because, what I like is it's got to be that quality, because more importantly even than what we offer to a big game hunter who draws that tag of a lifetime, or he's on that buck of a lifetime, right, is what we do with our warfighters.
Right.
And making sure, whether it's us or our allies, that we're putting product on those guys that's going to work in any condition.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a big deal to us.
Yeah, well, that's huge, and y'all always knock it out of the park. What's some of the most probably unseen challenges, being in your role as the CEO of Leupold? What's some of the things that maybe people back home watching this might realize, like, man, it must be fun to be the CEO of Leupold, but what's some things that they probably don't see that you have to deal with every day, whether it's at the buying level, the marketing level, the product development, or just a management process?
Yeah, I mean, our mantra is to be relentless, and I think being relentless is a big challenge to try to do that every single day. And you think about a rifle scope. So that VX6 that we just launched, it's got about 210 parts. we make those parts. You got to get all the glass together. It's got to work absolutely perfectly from a standpoint of its optical clarity, what it does. The tolerances in the parts are just absolutely hair thin, right, in terms of how that works together, because it's got to work underwater, it's got to work at any elevation, it's got to work any temperature. And my point is, doing that every day and keeping that level of quality and then trying to improve that every day, that's part of the challenge of what we face. It's a big deal. There's times where, we're running into something going, man, I don't know if we can fix this, and we figure it out. Cool. I think that's the big challenge that you just face every day. So it's constantly trying to get better. And then once you get it better, you're out there trying to, like here, I'm sure you're introducing it to the new buyers, all the retailers that are here. And I would sure people think the work's done when we blow the whistle here at 6 o'clock, but no. I'm sure every night y'all got dinners lined up. It just starts. Yeah. You got to plan your production out. You got to make sure you're making enough of them. Right. You got to make sure you're making them at that high quality level, and then you got to get them to the right customers and make sure it makes sense for them. Yeah. Because they got to be able to make money on the product, and the consumer has to buy it and go, man, I think I got a good deal here. Yeah. It might have cost me a lot, but guess what? I know this is the best value out there. Kind of goes to everything I remember my dad used to tell me, anything that's worth the darn, there's a lot of work that went into it, or the whole story. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true, And in the case of what you guys are doing, holy cow, man! You're right, relentless, because there's so much work that goes into it. I'm reminded of it when I run into friends like you and different people at the show. We're all blessed to have a great gig, great job, but the amount of man hours at each team. Literally everybody. The competitors are competing. Every booth here, you see people here and up at 5, 6 in the morning, eating breakfast, coming, and literally, I guarantee you, neither one of us would go to bed before 11, probably taking somebody entertaining for dinner. Right. Oh, yeah. And you're trying to get business. And so you got a good product, and you're working hard to earn your trust of not only these people that are buying it, that have opportunity to distribute it through the dealers that they see across the country, all the way to the most important pieces of the consumer to know that's going to be a part of their really heritage. Yeah, that's right. That's really what it's going to be. Yeah, no, it is. The thing about it that I will tell you, having been in the sporting goods, business my whole career, but there is nothing like the hunting and shooting industry. I agree. The people in this business are absolutely the best. Even our competitors, Yeah, I want to beat them every day. Don't get me wrong. No, I completely understand. But, me too. But I gotta tell you, there's just good people in this industry that all kind of have the same mindset in many ways, and are just good people. Other CEOs, I'm looking at booths right here. John Nosler's a friend, and Jason Hornady, and all these guys are just great people that I get to spend time with all the time. So that can't be said enough, because I agree, because in every aspect, most of us, whether you're a CEO or in my case just hosting an outdoor television show, we grew up playing sports. But my goodness, we were friends with people on another team, and you're always sarcasm, having a good time, having a cold beer, having maybe a dinner, and sometimes you're hanging out constantly, but there's always that rib like, hey buddy, we got y'all. We about to give it to you this year. Come on, buddy. And I love that. It's such a spirited, real, and I think that's what I love about this industry. Everything's real. Yeah. There's not as near as much fake. The strategy is straight up. We make a good product. Our teams go out, work your team, and at the end of the day, it's, I don't know. It's all, in one way, we're all still fighting for the same inevitable. What's the old saying? High tides rise all boats. That's right. And so I think we're kind of it feels like we're in a good spot. The country feels like it's a good spot. I think from the inauguration, I think we're all fired up. And so I think we're in a good place to be an American. And I really think that we're just going to have an opportunity to see some things we haven't seen in a long time. So that's really cool. Well, I think that the big thing for our industry is just particularly on the hunting side, is just that we're continuing to grow hunters, right? That we're continuing to give mentor folks that whether they're older or younger, to become hunters and to be a part of our industry and continue to build on that, because we had a few years there where it was kind of declining. And we got a spike, and it started to go again. And I think now it's our job in this industry, and all of us, whether we compete or not, is the same thing: is how do we create more hunters out there, and how do we continue to get them to? I want my grandkids to be able to enjoy what I've enjoyed as a hunter. You know,
Right.
that's been such an amazing thing for me and my boys and family, and you know, that they get to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm committed to that. I'm committed to conservation and committed to
100%.
building that, you know.
I think that's what it takes, and you're right. That's a collective effort in so many of the businesses and brands you see. But you mentioned something that I thought was really cool. You said you worked in the sporting goods business for a long time, so you've been on all sides of it.
Yep.
Do you think that really helped from a CEO standpoint of where you sit now, of being part of probably all the way to working retail, to working the counter, to being probably a buyer of brands, to now having to see it from that perspective of where you said it at Leupold?
Yeah, I mean, I had a decent amount of success early, and I got my first CEO job, I was in my 30s, and so
Right.
I've had a lot of experience now, and I don't mind saying I'm 59 years old.
Right.
I've had a lot of experience running companies, and so, but I've only been with 3 in that whole period of time.
That's awesome,
you know,
man.
and so that experience of going through transactions and all that, understanding all that kind of has made me kind of where I am today. So I think it all does add up, and that experience, I'll tell you where you'll really learn though, is working with different brands over that period of time, and working with different customers over that period of time, and you got to learn. If you're really listening and working to get better every day, you just learn how to get better. Because I got to tell you, on my first one, I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I should have probably had that job, but I figured it out, you know, and you learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you get better, and today I'm just blessed to have a great company with great people. And
That was awesome. That actually kind of answered that. That's what I was going to ask you, if there's anything you've learned, you know, because I know everybody aspires to be a CEO. Not only a CEO, but especially a CEO of an iconic brand that they grew up loving. And in this case, you know, you get a chance to lead and be part of a big company that you were a fan of as a kid.
Yeah.
And so that was the other question I had, is like, man, what are some good tips you could give somebody that's aspiring to become, you know, that part of a company? Because it ain't easy.
No,
it's not easy.
Look, I tell my kids, you know, if you can be a part of something you're passionate about, like you really care about it. I get up every day and I love going to work.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that's not the case for everybody. And so I'm not telling you to go quit your job out there. You know, you got to feed your family and you got to make good decisions. But if you can constantly steer yourself into a place where you're passionate about what you do every day, I think the work's better. I do. And then, I know this sounds cliche, but it is the truth, is you've got to get good people around you.
Yep.
You better be hiring people that are smarter than you. And I know with my team, my leadership team, you know, I've got a team now that's been together, I think, for 7 years, and man, they're smart. And they know how to go get things done and really execute in their particular discipline. And I think marrying that passion with great people that you want to work with every single day that are talented is it. That's it. And then you gotta be competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it in business.
Just
you know?
that drive.
You gotta
want it.
You gotta want to win.
Yeah.
You gotta want to win.
You know, I'm glad. I think maybe that's what I start getting back to how I feel now, and even America, and really this ain't even politics, even though it sounds like it is. I feel like that's so important. You've got to want to get up and earn that victory. Yeah. And I think we almost got to a place to where maybe we thought we deserved it just because, or maybe a little bit of entitlement there a little while. But you're right. Every man or woman I know that's had success, they got a burning desire to get to touchdown.
Yeah, I'm never going to be embarrassed of winning.
Me either.
No.
I agree.
No, I'm not going to feel like it's bad. I'm not going to feel it is part of it. And so I'll tell you, when we look for team members, we are constantly looking at, is this somebody that's competitive? And part of the thing with people who have that mindset is, even when things don't go their way, even when you get knocked down, and you're flat-faced on the field, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you get back in the game. Let's go. Okay, we'll do this. That's right. I'll do it different next time.
That's
right.
Do it
better. So that resilience to continue to get better every day, overcome challenges, that's part of that competitive mindset.
That's right.
Yeah.
Meaning, I think that's a good way to put it. You can get knocked down. It don't mean if you fail. I told somebody the other day, I said, man, if you don't want it, I don't want to be around you.
That's right.
Now, you can want it and still screw up, but you're still trying to do it. I mean, whether it's playing football or being a salesman.
Yeah.
But if you want to be successful and you keep wanting it, you'll about find a way.
That's right.
And you get those people around you who can help guide you and mentor you.
Yeah.
I think it happens 90% of the time. Yeah, maybe more.
One of the things I love about hunting as a sport is I think of it a lot of like kind of what I do as a CEO too, where you've got to have the proper preparation, You know, I mean, I'm one of those gear. Like I have to be in what I do, but I'm that guy that's setting my gear out. You know, I'm going to Alaska in May on a hunt.
You're already getting her?
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get her ready. I'm getting kind of pumped up. You know, but getting, you know, just getting that preparation done, having that strategy up front. Like, how am I going to get this done, and what happens if this goes this way, and getting that thing. And then when you get out there, it never goes the way you think it is.
Right.
Like, it never does. Right. Which is one of the cool things is you got to adapt.
That's true.
Yeah. There's no elk here.
Right, exactly.
There isn't an elk in the whole unit.
Thank God I got some good boots because I need to keep walking, right?
You know, but it's just that, and I think it's similar in so many ways.
Yeah.
And people that you see there, you know, I get to work with so many great people on, you know, that are on our to learn from too, that are on our pro teams and stuff like that. And you know all these guys, but like, you know, hang out with Mark Gurry and talk about deer hunting for a little bit.
Oh, dude.
You might learn a thing or two.
No doubt. 100%. You might know a lot about deer, but he knows something that you didn't hear. But what I like about Mark, you're going to tell him something that he's going to listen to what you got to say, too.
Or hang out with Shockey for a minute, and you'll learn a little bit.
Dude, yeah. That's what we've been picking on Shockey. I work with Shockey on the Hornady side of things, ammunition, and I've been trying to get Jason Hornady to write into his pro staff contract that you can no longer wear pink Speedos on Instagram. So I know.
Did he do it?
I think he's going to add it just for that.
That's funny.
So I'm so glad, because you got to understand with Jim. Of course, you know you're good buddies with him, and I know y'all worked with him for years and years. And Jim is such an alpha dude, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so what I love about Jim is he jugs me all the time.
Oh no, he'll give them.
Oh dude, you got to give it back to him. And so now, when he waded off into that Mesquite, a picture in that little selfie of him in them pink Speedos, I've been hammering ever since, Bruce. So you can be proud of us. We've never had a chance to work together. I work over there with the Bushnell team. Always been a fan of you guys, and vice versa. Those guys are nothing but positive things to say about the team over there at Leupold. So Jim and I, we come in swinging. Like, it's unbelievable, man. You'd think we're enemies. In reality, we just love each other, you know. So.
I was with him not long ago, and he was saying the same thing. He goes, I only give grief to people that I care about.
That's the way I am.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what maybe y'all should do when y'all renew your contract with Jim. And if I can get that on all my friends, like I know we worked together on Hornady. There was a couple other ones we worked together. Maybe that's what we do, is have the Michael Waddell clause.
You can't say one bad word about Michael Waddell.
And say, until you take down the pink Speedo picture. That might be something you can have fun. I actually said it. They had in the Hornady party. They had their team meeting, their sales meeting. Yeah. So I had a chance to go on this rant, and all it was about Jim Shockey wearing the pink Speedos, and they said it was a huge success. So Mr. Jason, of course, he's a clown. He's funny.
He's great.
He said, I think I'm going to add that into the pro staff clause. You can't wear pink Speedos
very funny.
there.
Well, Jim will be ready for you after this.
Oh, God, I can't tell you.
He's coming back.
I'm doing nothing but messing
he won't let
with
it go.
him, and he's going to hear it, and so there's no telling what he's going to be doing. So anyway. Bruce, dude, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, man.
Yeah,
congratulations on all your success.
Yeah,
and
thanks for everything you've done for the industry, man.
Oh, thank you,
I admire
man.
that. You've been an incredible spirit. You know, I always love watching you. So
thank you. That means a lot, man. That's humbling, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Take care.